Hi guys, welcome to the Willsena Parenting Podcast. My name is Lucia.
My name is Godsway.
And
we are the Igumans.
So, babe, we're finally doing this.
Yes, after long consideration and long waiting time.
I think because now we finally have an excuse, which is almost there.
Almost there, yeah. Thanks. Kudos to almost there.
Yeah. So we are dedicating this to her. So, babe, do you want to tell them how the name Willsena came about?
To be honest, that name Willsena, I think the very first time that name actually came up was when we're thinking about the future. We're dating then. I think we're thinking about getting married.
Wait, what?
Yes, that's when the name came up.
No, we're actually just friends.
No, because see, we're thinking of getting married, and we're like, okay, when we get married, we'll have a pharmacy together. Why will I have a pharmacy with a lady I don't intend getting married to?
That's not how I remember it though. How I remember it, I think we're just friends. So we're like, oh, imagine we start up a business together, and then what do you think the name will be? And then we're like, okay.
Maybe I was thinking different. Maybe my thought was a bit different from yours. But yeah, guys. So that was the first time the name came up. We're like, okay, we'll name the pharmacy Willsena Pharmacy. And funny enough, I remember when we're talking about it, you said the name should be Senawi. I was like, what kind of Benish name is that, Senawi Pharmacy?
Yeah. So my native name is Osasenaga. So we got the Sena from Osasenaga, and then you will
from God's Way.
Yeah. So you guys, this is a parenting podcast. We're going to be sharing our pregnancy journey, things we've learned so far, and any surprises we had.
So that's it. Talking about pregnancy, to be honest, what was your first reaction when you discovered that you were pregnant?
Oh my gosh. So when we found out we were pregnant, okay, so at the time we had just come back from a conference. Remember the conference?
We traveled to another city for a conference.
So we went there, and I actually just realized that I was hungry all through. And if you know me, you know that I actually like food though, but I always eat in small portions. So this time a food came and it was in large portion, and I ate it. Then after that we went to another restaurant. Then after that we got to the hotel, and I was still hungry. And so I thought to myself, I've not seen my and this hunger does not seem
I think
normal.
Even before we traveled for the conference, you were like, babe, I've not seen my period though. In my head I was just like,
it will come
because
now. Previously we had like plenty pregnancy scares.
A whole lot.
Oh yeah, so he was like,
I was so sure, I was 100% sure that it would come. You get only for us to come back, everybody was going to get financial blessings and every other kind of blessings, only for you to go and capture pregnancy blessings.
So we got back home, and the next morning, thank God, like I said, we had a lot of pregnancy scares before. So I already had strips and all. So the next morning, I didn't even tell him I was going to check. I just woke up, went to use, they would say use early morning urine. So I went and checked. Immediately I saw it, I first of all cleaned my eye. Am I seeing well? 2 lines. I just started crying.
Sharp lines like this.
Sharp like no, but okay, you can barely see it, you're not sure. Sharp lines. I was like, babe, oh my God.
To be honest, that day I can remember that day so well.
Yeah, me too.
Because I was preparing to go to work, or I was supposed to go to work that day.
Yeah, you were.
And then she called me, and she was crying.
Like, babe, come.
In my mind, I was like, what's happening? like what was happening. And then she showed me the test strip, and I was like, oh. To be honest, I was trying to be
yeah. So you started telling me it was okay, and that we're going to do this, and don't worry, we're ready. And
that was me just trying to form hard man. Trust me. See, guys. Okay, let me tell you. See, please do not get angry with us. I know some persons will be like, "How will you be crying?
Why will you be crying?
When you just found out that you guys are pregnant and then you are crying?" Okay, for me, I was very down, you get, but obviously I couldn't really show it to her because she was already crying. The reason being this, we're not preparing to get pregnant
so you
at
know
that
when
time.
you just like have a plan per se.
Yes.
Like, okay, so you know what? Okay, we had just relocated at the time.
Yeah.
So we already had a plan. Okay, you know what? Let's get settled a bit.
Yeah.
And then do this, do that before we can consider getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And so it came as a shocker to us, like,
yeah. It was almost like our what we've envisaged.
Yeah.
It's almost like everything was just going to the opposite direction, because the plan, like my wife said, the plan was to settle down. You get, for those persons that have you've moved from if you moved from one country to another country, you know how it means. You know what it means to really settle down in that country before you start giving birth and all. You get, so we're just like we want to settle down. And then we know, yes, we are ready. In fact, what we envisaged was 2025.
Yeah, okay, so it was to get pregnant.
No, 2024.
Yeah.
Yes, to get pregnant 2024, then give birth 2025.
Yeah. So,
going by our plan, I was supposed to be a father in 2025.
Yeah, like this year.
This year. So, the thing is, when I got to work that day, I don't know if I told you, I was so down. Like, I was so down. I was like, oh God. I remember calling in someone, and I told the person, and the person was just like, oh, God is faithful. I was like, will you keep quiet there and listen to what I'm saying? You get, we're not ready. For me, I was mentally not ready. I was not there. In fact, I was not ready to be anybody's father. I was just trying to get ready. I was not ready at all.
Yeah. So I think the first person I called was my mom, and then I called her. I said, Mommy. She was like, what? What is it? What is it? What is it?
I can imagine Mom's reaction.
Mommy, I'm pregnant. Hey, he has done for me. He has done for me. She started singing, and I was saying, Mommy, listen. She just said, wait, why are you crying? I said, you know the plan. She was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then she started like educating me and told me that these things are God's plan.
Yeah.
And since God has given us, He knew that we were ready at the time.
Everyone around us, they knew that we're not ready. We kept on saying it, to be honest. Like sometimes when my mom is
jokingly says,
yes,
what of juniors?
Yeah, she'll be like, you probably expect a baby, blah blah. Then she was even saying we're gonna give birth to twins.
Yeah,
you get. So I always actually used to say, Mom, see, we're not ready. You get. So it's almost like how the Bible puts it, like a man will devise his ways. But God will direct His path. You get. We already we devise our ways. We're like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. Then God just had to direct us.
Ta-da!
Surprise!
So okay, when did you get excited? When did you start getting excited?
Okay. To be honest, I think when we were assigned a midwife, that's when it dawned on me that, oh man, we are expecting a baby. You get. So I just moved past that initial mood of, oh, I'm not ready, and or then gradually I just moved past it,
so
and
this
then
is our reality.
because I'm just this kind of person. I like to face reality. You understand? So I think we sat down, we had a conversation. We're like, so what next?
We're like, what
are we going to do? You get. So
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. So I think after that conversation, like, I don't know, it just happened. I was just excited about the pregnancy.
I think for me was after the truth really was after I started telling people.
Okay.
Because at first I was still very confused and all of that. But then when I started telling people, the same people I thought would say...
And their excitement,
yeah,
right?
the same people I thought would say, you people just got there. They were excited, telling me, wow.
Yeah.
I had a friend that will say,
To be honest, like, the reaction of people...
Yeah, it just like built up that excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm actually having a baby. Because people were actually making us excited.
Yeah. True.
Okay.
True.
So, babe, the pregnancy journey.
A couple of friends actually, they were honest enough to tell me, like, I know I called someone and I told him that, okay, see, I'm expecting a baby, and he was like, oh wow, God's way, this is great news and all. And then he was like, okay, God's way, let me tell you the truth. It's not going to be easy.
Definitely wasn't.
When he said that, in my mind, I was just like, I beg. I know people speak from their personal experience. Everything we work together for my good and all. Yes, everything actually worked together for my good, but man, it was a journey. It was a journey that in my head lasted for a year plus, even if it was a 9-month journey.
It felt like 2 years. Who for me?
I'm telling you, it was a journey. Okay.
So when we found out we were pregnant, we called the GP and then told them, we are pregnant. They asked me how far gone. At the time, obviously, I didn't know. So I was like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to get another test strip. That's the clear blue test strip that tells you if it's 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks plus. And so I told her I was going to get that. They were like, okay, no problem, that they'll book me in and book me to see a midwife or so.
They assigned us
a midwife,
to,
and she'll do a test and all of that. So we did that. We went to see the midwife, and then we did a blood test.
Yeah.
And she told me you were about like 3 weeks gone.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I was like, how? So you mean I already have a 3-week-old baby in me?
Yeah.
And so from there they said, okay, I actually wanted to just do a scan right away.
Yeah.
But they said, oh no, they have to book when I'm, I think, about 10 to 12 weeks or so. Yeah. And I was like, no, I actually want to see my baby sooner. I was so anxious and all of that. And then I just said, okay, instead of going private, because I actually thought of going private to just go do a scan. But I was like,
we just decided to wait.
Yeah. After that, it's like, women, I don't know. It's like after we just know that we are pregnant, I don't know if it's our hormones that just does something to us.
In fact, the moment she told me, she was pregnant, in fact, she started vomiting almost immediately.
Like, I think it was the next day, like, after the visit to the midwife, because I think that was almost
it was so fast,
like,
and I was like, you've been good all this while, so what happened? Good. You get I remember one time I was sleeping, and then she woke me up at the middle of the night. She was like, babe. I was like, what again? She was like, babe, I need noodles. I was like, noodles? And the specification was peppery noodles. I was like, peppery noodles? I was like, okay. As a good man that I am, I woke up. Middle of the night, guys. So I woke up. I went to the kitchen. I made peppery noodles. I brought it. She ate it. You get? And then I was going to go back to bed. And then I heard somebody throwing up. I was like, not again. You practically just ate the noodles like 3-4 minutes. And then you're going to throw up the noodles.
I had hyperemesis, so nothing stayed down. Like, I threw up from the time he's talking about till like 2 days after. Like, even when I had given birth, I continued throwing up. It was that bad. So there was even a day like I threw up, like I was throwing up like after every 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was very bad.
It was bad.
Like, so anything that do you know what I just remembered?
Anything that goes in comes out.
I just remembered one day, I think I was sleeping or so, and I just felt like I was going to throw up. But a part of me was like, shall I just still rest more? Do you get? Because you know how you struggle to get up as a pregnant lady. Worst mistake ever. Before you know it, I felt it coming out. So as I was trying to run to the bathroom, everywhere I just
guys, you don't want to know what
I couldn't get to the bathroom. Everywhere. When he entered the room, he just said that everywhere was red.
see guys, that day I don't even wish for that day to come back again. I'm not even joking. Okay, I was actually studying. You get? I was studying that day. I can remember clearly. I was studying, and then she was calling me, and I got to the room, discovered that she had vomited on the bed,
the white bed,
the wall,
the floor,
the carpet.
Everywhere.
So in my mind, I was like, how did you even do it? Did you just carry your man to the wall, carry your man to the bed, to the carpet? I was like, how did it?
I couldn't even get
like
to the
when I got there, I was just like, you know what, babe, please just go to the second room. She was like, babe, I'm so sorry. I said, no, it's fine. Just go to the second room.
Oh my God. I felt so bad. Do you know, when he was cleaning up, I came, babe, can I help?
I spent, I'm not even kidding. I spent close to an hour trying to clean up the house. Yeah. Like, it was bad. It was, that day I was like, oh God. In fact, let me even tell you the history of that day. That day I came back from work, you get, and that period of my life, I told myself, I said, I must study. You understand? So I came back from work, I ate, and I went to I went to my laptop. I was studying when all of this happened. You understand? It's not that, okay, maybe I was at home throughout that day. I was just strong. Yeah, so like I practically came back from work. I ate. I was tired, but because of my intention to study every day, I was studying. I was like, okay, let me just study for like 2 hours, 3 hours. I'll go to bed.
Funny thing is here. So before I even got married, as a young girl in uni, myself and my friend, we used to have like this inside joke that when we were pregnant, we'll stress our husband. We'll tell him to bring.
Can you imagine, guys?
We'll tell him to bring lion meat. We'll do this with elephant. We're just like joking about. I couldn't even do half of all of those things. As like, I actually wanted to do like, you know, these things we see in the movies, like maybe wake him up in the middle of it, just joking, like playing with him and say, oh babe, I want to eat tortoise back. Because just like to mess with him and all of that, because that's what I planned I would do, but I couldn't even do that because he was actually seeing premium shege already.
Guys,
so I couldn't even do any of that.
I practically was telling a friend, that was last month, I was telling a friend, okay, the friend was like, he was joking, I know, but I took it serious. He was like, God sweet, you people will just expect the second baby. I said, don't say that again. I am not even ready. Mentally, I am not ready. Yeah. And immediately I said, God, please, I am not ready. You get, it was a beautiful journey. You get, it was a beautiful journey. But at that time, you know, when it's almost like your routine, your routine just drastically changed. What you are used to, then what I was used to when I come back from work, we'll eat, we'll talk, and then maybe when she's sleeping, then I'll go back to my study, I'll read, then I'll come back. You get? But now, when I come back from work, I go straight to the kitchen to cook.
Yeah, okay, so he was the one doing like practically all.
See, my culinary cap was constantly on.
Yeah, it was because so certain smells like triggered me upon I can't even keep things down. So for example, I think smell of some certain spices.
Yeah,
and then
it was bad.
The dishwashing liquid.
Oh, that was bad.
So in fact, he had to buy different ones.
We tried different detergents.
Because even when I'm not even doing the dishes, I'm not the one doing the dishes, but he's using it. It even like aggravates me to try.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot. So
to be honest, yeah. And another thing again, I can advise you get from my little experience. You just have to know what you have to be as a man. You have to be conscious of what triggers your wife. You get anything can. I know of some persons who say, oh, body cologne, setting food and the rest of it. You just have to know if you don't want to pack vomit. Do you understand? You just have to be. So what I was doing then, I was practically anything she says, oh, like I can remember clearly when she said there's a particular kind of detergent. I won't mention the brand you get. There's a particular detergent that she was constantly saying, oh, this is one of my trigger, or stubborn me. I was still buying it. I would say, it's not me that is washing the plate and all. That's how I was packing vomit. You understand? Until I had to get another brand. You get a different brand. So as a man, I feel like you should just try and study what triggers her. You get. It's very important. If you don't want to pack vomit like me, you get. Yeah. So moving forward, okay, during our pregnancy journey, what are the things? What are the things that I did right in your eyes? You get? What are the things that you feel like, oh, this man tried? You get? You know, a friend of mine said something. He said, Godfrey, in the eyes of a woman, when it has to do with pregnancy, you never do enough.
Yeah, actually I agree, because even sometimes breathing around me trigger me, like shit. Even sometimes when he's sleeping and maybe I'm trying to like get the right position, I'm already like wake up. So yeah, I get that. Okay, so what you did right? Honestly, I felt very pampered when I was pregnant.
Clap for me, guys.
So I felt very pampered, and you were very patient with me as well. There are a lot of things that I wasn't doing. In fact, sometimes I'll say, today, you know what? I will try and cook. Today I will cook. I don't know what used to happen now. I don't.
You just sleep off.
I don't. It's not like if I over sleep. Before you know it, it's already time. He's back. I'll be like, I didn't cook. What are we going to eat now?
See. So, I come back from work. And I don't even try to. I don't. You know when you come back from work and you're like, oh, I'm expecting. No, I don't even try it. So I don't hurt yourself. I don't hurt myself. I just come back and I'm like, oh yeah, what do you want to eat?
Yeah, exactly. Babe, speaking on that, that's another thing that I really liked, because there are times that even before you get home, you've already called me like, oh, what do you want me to get?
Yeah.
Because what do you want me to cook and all of that? And I'm like, okay. So actually, I felt very pampered. Like, you honestly tried your best to do things to please me, although
like they said, you can never do enough.
although like there were some things like if I'm being very honest, from a very selfish perspective, there's sometimes that please, but should not judge me. There are sometimes that I actually just wanted him to like call in sick, because
and not go to work. You can imagine.
Sure, we are one.
See, to be honest, get me right. So I called in sick several times. So I called in sick several times, but she wanted me to stay in the house more often. Yeah. You get, and at that time I was practically. I don't know, was I?
You're busy with.
Yeah, okay. That time was a very, very busy, was a busy season for me and even for ourselves. You get, that was another reason why we're not even, we're not expecting to have a child, because at that period I was trying to study for a particular part of my life. You get, and then she was studying too. And then she was working, I was working, I was practically working, studying, and then managing my business. You get, all of these things, they were happening
at the same time.
Yes,
I actually wanted. I actually just wanted, call in sick or take more holidays and just be like, okay, you know what, babe, let's just sleep in together. Let's just watch a movie. That's what you should have done more in case of next time.
I'll take note of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about when you moved to the US, you get, when you traveled to the US, like, did you even miss, like, you know, I obviously didn't travel with you to the US. I was in the UK when you traveled to the US. So did you miss all of these things I was doing for you when you were in the UK?
I actually did. Although kudos to my aunties, big shout out to them, because the pampering continued. It continued. In fact, my auntie here, to even climb the stairs, remain small, should have told me, don't worry, let me back you. Honestly, I felt pampered. But yeah, I missed it because obviously there's nothing like your partner's affection. Even if you feel it from your auntie, your siblings or whatever, your partner's affection and so and obviously because it was both of us doing the journey together, there were some things I could express to you more, although I was doing it over the phone, but like it was not the same.
Like when you travel to the US, it practically messed up with my sleep. My sleep time you get, because obviously I had to stay awake to speak with her. We're practically talking 24/7.
You because me as well, I was having like insomnia because jet lag and all of that. I lasted for a very long time. So I would be up when they're up, and he had to be up when I'm up. So we're doing that. We're talking like all the time. So speaking of traveling to the US, when I got to the US, the system was, I think, quite different from the UK. Maybe I'll do that in another video to explain.
Just to educate people that want to give birth in the UK
US or UK
or UK or US.
The pros and cons. So it was, I would actually say kudos to, I don't know if it was that hospital or is their system in general. I actually felt okay, so in the UK, I never saw a doctor. I only saw a midwife. But in the US, I kept on seeing... I had a particular doctor, and he was actually the best. I cannot forget him. He was actually the best. He pampered me a lot because I used to ask him like very weird questions. And he was very
always willing to answer your questions.
And also, another thing that I really liked was the fact that, I don't know if it was because I was already due then or what, but I always used to go in for a scan. And it used to make me happy a lot. I remember I said in the UK, they told me to wait still about 10 weeks, which I wasn't really happy with. But anytime I go for like my hospital visits, they'll ask me, do you want to scan? I'm like, yes, I want to see my baby.
But you know, the reason why they are saying, do you want to scan and arrange the scan is because you are paying for it, obviously. You are paying for obviously.
Cha-ching. Every time you go to the doctor.
You're paying for it, obviously. You get.
Okay, so babe, the D-Day.
Yeah, the D-Day. To be honest, okay. I remember it was a Sunday. No, I can't even forget. It was a Sunday. You get. I got back from church and then she told me that, babe, it seemed like my water just broke. And I was like, okay. Are you guys going to the hospital? You are supposed to go to the hospital now. What is happening? You get. And then she was like, hey, I'm tired. I want to just relax for
okay, so I actually have an explanation for that. So a week before then, because I was already tired. My due date was actually 13th of February. I was actually lucky happy that she didn't come on the 13th. Because
a day before Valentine.
Don't come and spoil Val's day for me. And I was saying, God, please, she should also not come on the 14th. So when we had passed that 13th, 14th, and then 15th, I don't think I did a video. I was like, how long is this going to take?
I remember that video. I remember that video.
I was so tired, honestly. And so before then, I had already gone to the hospital to tell the doctor, it seems like I'm having contractions. I didn't know that. I don't even know why. They checked. They say, no contractions. I said, are you sure? Check. They say no contractions. I said, oh God. The ride home, I was so quiet. My auntie kept on asking me, are you okay? Yes, ma. Are you okay? I was so tired. So because we had like a series of, it was not only then. Like there was another time we also went to the hospital because I was like, are you sure? Check, am I not dilating? They said no, 1 centimeter. I'm like, no. Check again. I was actually tired. Sure. So honestly, on this very day, when it seemed like my water broke, I told him, we're on the phone Well,
we're talking that day.
Yeah, we're talking, and I was like, babe, I think my water just broke. And he was like, go and tell auntie now. People should go to the hospital. I said, okay, you know what will happen? I'm coming. I'll call you back. So he thought I was going to tell my auntie, you guys, like my husband would say, this Gen Z generation. I went on TikTok.
TikTok, my people. TikTok. She went on TikTok.
How do you know when your water breaks? And so I started seeing a lot of funny videos, and I started watching, and I was there for a while. I was just checking, laughing.
I had to call her
so
again.
He called me again, like, how far are you guys on your way to the hospital? I said, no, don't worry, don't bother yourself. TikTok said my water actually broke, that I should cough, and if I cough and the water gushes out, I know that is actually my water that broke, and that I just coughed, so don't worry. He was like, what are you saying? But you said it, and you already explained what was going on, because I think I stood up, and then water just like dripped down. It was like, no, even if you think it's not your water that broke, at least go to the hospital. I was like, okay, no, Allah, I'm going now. Guess what? I still didn't go. So I went to, I think, my mom called at the time. So I told her, mommy, see, I was doing all of this while still on the bed, because I laid back down. I was like, mommy, see, that it's like my water broke and that. And trust my mom, she entered panic mode immediately. And she was like, no, if your water just broke, you have to get up. Is your bag ready? Because I said, it's ready, boss. Just wait. You know what? I'm not fit. Because truthfully, why I was that relaxed was because I wasn't feeling any pain. And obviously, they had already prepared my mind that when you want to go into labor, you start contracting.
Yeah, you feel
and
pain,
you start
labor pain. Yeah.
And I was expecting to do that. I'll say what? I'll say it's like I'm contracting.
Oh God.
So I wasn't having all those. I was like, I beg, I don't want to have to go to the hospital and then come back. Yeah. So next thing, trust my mom. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm coming. Next thing, she called my auntie. Next thing, I just heard my auntie from downstairs. Yeah, you come, hey. So I went to meet her, explain what. Okay, so as I got up, water just started gushing again. So I now told her that auntie, see what's going on. She said, let's go. So I went to, thank God I did this. So
this is the part where we can say indeed God is a merciful God. Yeah.
So I dressed up. Thank God I'd already packed my bag, because I said I was already ready. I'd been ready since, because I actually wanted her to come either way before Valentine or way after this evening. Okay, just 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to the hospital, and in fact it was because I didn't want to raise my hopes. I was just like, I beg. In fact, I think I was even chatting with my friend. I said, I even wanted to prank them, because I thought I would go back home. So I said, I did labor like this. So my friend called and said, hey, are you serious? I said, yes. So, because I'd experienced that going to the clinic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So before then, I forgot to mention that I fell. There was a time I fell.
Yeah. It was snowing that day, right?
Yeah, it was snowing in Tennessee. It was a lot. And so I went out. I think I went to one of the hospital visits, and then I slipped and fell. So they had already admitted me for a bit, but they said, I should be going now. There's nothing. Yeah. So I was also like, maybe they would have induced me at the time nothing. So I just said, let me prank my friends and all of that. So I pranked them and all of that. My best friend was like, let me call you. I was like, no, don't worry. Yeah. Sonia, all of them, they were trying to call me. I said, don't worry, because in my head I was pranking them.
Yeah.
Next thing, the nurse came. She was like, okay, and this was the very smart thing I did. Thank God I did this. She was like, did I wear a pad? Because obviously I was gushing, so how you not gushing? Because obviously I think I wore trouser. So I just wore a pad so that if at all water is coming out, the pad will at least hold it. She was like, did I wear a pad? I'm like, yes, I did. She was like, that I would have to give it to her so that they will actually check if it was my water that broke. I was
okay.
Okay, so I gave it to her, and then they'll strap you, monitor the baby, monitor you as well, and all of that. And so the first nurse came. She asked me, "Have you eaten?" I said, "Oh yes, I've eaten." She was like, "Okay." She didn't say but I could see that in Nigerian tone. So she was like, "Okay." Another one came. do I want Sprite? I was like, why are they asking me?
Yeah.
Like, is my blood... That was the first thing I thought of. Like, is my sugar level low?
Yeah.
I was like, me that child like sweet mouth. I said, yes, I want. They said, okay, no problem.
That would be talk for another day.
So they said, okay, no problem. Then another one came, because the one that took my pad, she came back and said, oh, actually, my water did not break. So I was like, you see,
yeah,
this is why I didn't want to raise my hopes. This is why. So I was already like, okay, no wahala. Then another nurse came and she was like, okay, so do you know the one that came in to ask for my pad? She came in to tell me that my water did not break, so I will have to go home and come back the next day because they were going to induce me because that was the plan. I'd already told my doctor that I was tired, so he already told me the week before that he will induce me on the 19th so that I'll give birth on the 20th. So I liked the date 20th of February because if you know me, I'm very vain and I pay attention to details. So I didn't want to give birth to her on an odd number day, like 25, 27, 23. I know I'm weird like that. So I was like, 20th is fine. So she was like, I have to come back the next day and all of that. So I was already like, you see. Then another nurse came in and she was like, actually, the doctor has asked us to move you to the labor room. I was like, what's going on? I was like, are these people confused? Like, this one just said it.
Yeah.
And I said, but that nurse said, she was like, the doctor will tell you by himself. Hey! Yeah. At this point, I said, the doctor will tell you by himself. Why can't you tell me? What happened to your mouth? Hey! At this point, I just said, God. I just started praying and I told him, like, see what's going on. They want to move me to the...
We're practically on the court for a long time that day.
I was like, see, they want to move me to like the labor room and all of that. He was like, okay, that's fine, no problem, go. So when next thing, they started inserting, what do they call the cannulas and all of that. Started putting, and I was like, why is nobody telling me what's going on? At least. And I asked the nurse, so am I having the baby today? She was like, the doctor is going to come. He's going to speak to you. I was like, okay, that's fine. And then the doctor came and he was like, he introduced himself because this was not my doctor now, like the one that I used to speak to. So I was like, okay. So he introduced himself. He was like, he is doctor this. I won't call his name. And that... And that they had checked me. Okay, yeah, I forgot to mention this. So they had checked me again and saw that I was just 1 centimeter. I was not dilating. Yeah. So he said, they've checked me. I'm not dilating, and they've been monitoring my baby. Yeah. And that her heart rate or something. That
she was in distress.
She was in distress, and that her heart rate was dropping.
So you can see how God was.
So imagine
very merciful.
Because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
This time I was sick. We had the conversation in the morning, my time. What this conversation now with the doctor was about 6 p.m. ish.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how long I delayed. Like, I know I summarized it, but I actually...
It was a long time, guys. It was a long time.
I delayed and all of that. So you see how merciful God was. And I was like, what? My baby is in distress. They're like, yes. That they have to do it right now. Cesarean session right now. I was like, okay, can I think about... No, so he was like, so I'll give you 5 minutes to think about it and talk to your family and loved ones. So I was like, okay. So I called my husband. My uncle called my parents. And then all of them were like, okay, let's do it. Shasha, they don't even get choice before. Yeah. But me, I felt very bad because... Not because... Don't get me wrong, cesarean sections.
I think you started crying at some point. Yes, you cried, and I was like, I was trying to. But God bless Uncle Obi. Yeah. Because Uncle Obi, he calmed me down.
Yeah. He was even in a meeting, he had to come.
Yes, exactly.
So don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with cesarean sections. It's provided baby and mommy are fine. Yeah. But at the time, we usually have birth plans. Yeah. So I had a birth plan. I had an idea of how I wanted everything in my head, and so. When things don't go my way, the first thing I do is cry. So that's why I cried. So I cried and they just told me it was okay. Next thing, the doctor came in and I saw that he was already
dressed for.
Yeah, he was already ready and he was like, So what was it? I said, oh, you didn't vote. In my head, I thought you said I should think about it. Already dressed. He said, so my uncle now started asking him, can they induce me right now? So he was like, people don't seem to understand. We need to do a
Right now.
cesarean section right now for both of you to be fine. I was like, I beg, now you still dead there. Because he now actually, like, you know, before he was trying not to make us scared. He just said, now he now says, like, you guys don't understand. You have to do it right now. And so we did it. The operation took, like, I think 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah. I remember you called me. You told me, they're starting now. And then, in fact, that day was just very funny.
Yeah.
I had visitors in the house, you get. So that period where we're doing this 30 minutes praise.
Yeah.
Was it 30 minutes, 20 minutes
yeah.
now? 30 minutes praise in my church. And I had visitors in the house. So we did the praise section together. And then, so I went into the praise before. Okay, she told me, okay, they're starting now. And then I went into the praise. And the praise lasted for like 30 minutes. And then a few minutes later, you told me,
baby is here.
Baby is here.
Yeah, it was actually so fast.
Like, it was very fast.
During the cesarean section, something happened. I caught a cold, and so I started shaking. And I was shivering. And I told them, I'm cold. I kept on saying, I'm cold. And so they brought the warm blankets. They covered me. And I was like, it's not enough. I'm cold. And they brought like 2 or 3 others and all of that. And I think it was because of the injection they had given me. That's the anesthetics that they had given me. It's because I read after that it does that to women. And so I asked, where is my auntie? Because at the time, she had not entered the theater. And so she came. And so I didn't even know that they had started.
You said you didn't even notice that they started. It was a reflection.
Started. So there's this, like, you know, the stainless steel reflection.
It was from the reflection you could see blood all over.
So as I just looked up, I just saw blood and I was like, I'm about to throw up. And they just like, they came. That's why I told you guys that I threw up even up until the end. And so I just started throwing up. And I threw up, and after that I felt better. And then after some minutes I heard, and I was like,
and that was my princess.
And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. My auntie was like, oh my God, she's so pretty. And they asked, do you want to see her? I'm like,
obviously,
bring my baby here. So they brought her, but because I was still, like, because they had to sew me back, they just brought her to my cheek and all of that. And then I looked at her, I was like, my princess.
And to be honest, when the baby comes, I don't know how you just tend to forget everything. Like everything I'm talking about, all of the pain, all like, of the.
I'll do it again. I don't.
You want to have another, even if I don't want to have another now. You understand?
It's something that
there's this excitement you get.
Yeah. Actually, the first time I heard her, I could feel. I don't know. It was like a gush of, I don't know what hormone I'll call it. Is it oxytocin? It was like a gush of that. I felt like if I was like exuding love. Yeah. Because it just felt, I don't think I have seen someone and just started crying immediately, and I was just like, oh my God, you came out of me, and it was just so beautiful.
For me at that time, I can imagine how you felt, because for me, I was working with just pictures and videos, and I felt that same way. I
think we'll talk about that in another episode. What do you think? So maybe our next episode.
Trust me, we have a whole lot to share with you. You get a whole lot. So because of our time, we almost like
we have to round off. Yeah. So, babe, what will you say the journey was so far? I think it was kind of exciting.
Yeah, like I said, it was a journey. Like it was a journey. In my head, it felt like a year plus. Even if, yes, there were some moments where you are like, oh God, this is tiring and all.
So I'll say it was like a roller coaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were moments where I was tired. I can't even lie. There were moments where I was really tired.
Yeah.
But you see what? When the baby comes, see it's there's a way it takes the experience, the whole tired experience, the whole pain. It takes it away.
So would love to hear from you guys, expecting parents or parents that have given birth.
Yeah.
What was your birth story like? What was your experience like?
Yeah. And it's good to drop it on the comments. We want to know your experience.
Yeah, we're going to be in the comment section reading comments and okay, so expecting mothers, what are your fears and all of that.
Yeah. And if you love what you've watched, like and share, subscribe to our channel.
You see more parenting advices and more parenting tips and things that we also experience. And we have a lot of things to say, trust me. It's just been a year, but it
feels like 10 years.
Also follow us on our Instagram page, our TikTok. And so thank you for hanging out with the Willsena podcast, the Gumas. See you guys.
See you guys next time. Bye.